Hey everyone, it's Dave, Bradley Jones and Chris Oakley from PlayoutONE. Today we're going to be showing you just a brief overview of how PlayoutONE can integrate with your Wheatstone network. Now, if you do not know what a Wheatstone network is, then I have my trusty sidekick here all the way over in the UK, Chris Oakley. Please tell us what Wheatstone is.
Hello. Wheatstone is, with this particular device that I've got here, is a Wheatstone blade. Now, the Wheatstone blade is the best way I can paint the picture for you. Anyone who knows what a Wheatstone blade is will know what it is, but for the uninitiated, imagine you've got 5 studios at a radio station, for example, and those studios have each got a mixing console in there. Of course, each mixing console's got feeds going in left, right, and centre. Nowadays, with a Wheatstone blade, it replaces that studio and that mixer. So you don't need cables going in and out everywhere. It's literally all Cat5 or Cat6 network cabling in and out. The Wheatstone blade that I've got here has logic gates, input and output. It's also got software logic ports. It's got an audio feed, analog audio feed on the back to get the audio mix out. It's got quite a few audio channels on there, and it's all audio over IP. So again, no balanced cables anywhere, not needed.
All digital, which is fantastic, which means you can have one box can have your microphone coming into it. It can have a satellite feed coming into it, and then that can be distributed across your whole network to whoever wants to listen to it. So you can have 5 studios all listening to it, 1 studio, it doesn't matter. It's an amazing bit of kit. And I trust you, if you've not read up about Wheatstone and the WheatNet products, go visit their website, wheatstone.com. It's fantastic.
It's incredible. It's witchcraft.
It is witchcraft, and it's fantastic. So how does PlayoutONE benefit? Well, for a start, as Chris alluded to, for the audio side of things, instead of having a sound card plugged into a PC, instead, you install this piece of software called the Wheatstone IP sound card, and effectively, that's it. It's installed. In PlayoutONE, you would select the different outputs on the Wheatstone IP audio driver, and then it's done. It just happens. It just audio appears over there, or it appears over there. There's no cables. It's just magic. It really is
wonderful.
But what most people also like to do with this is they like to control certain aspects of their Wheatstone setup, whether that be responding to events coming in from a satellite receiver to trigger some piece of audio, or, for example, turning on channels on a Wheatstone console. So we're going to show you how you set that up, and it's really, really simple. So let's just set the scene. Here in front of us is our demo machine in our data center, Classic Hits. And over in Chris's development hub in the UK is the Wheatstone blade. So we've connected these over the internet, and we're controlling these right now. So first thing you need is the data controller. Chris, what does the data controller do, the PlayoutONE data controller?
Well, PlayoutONE data controller, or formerly serial data receiver, rebranded because it's just grown. It's just grown up so much that it's no longer just serial data. It's pretty much everything. It's the interface to the outside world. So other pieces of hardware, or even software in some cases, can talk to PlayoutONE, and equally PlayoutONE can talk back, which is really interesting.
So it's the bridge.
It is, yeah, it pretty much is. So what we've done with Data Controller is introduced Wheatstone, the Wheatstone API, into it. And using that, we can catch events from a Wheatstone system. So we can then make PlayoutONE do what we want it to do based on what that event is. So, for example, if it's turning on, if it's turning on a fader and you want it to start player 1 or player 2 or whatever, we can make it do that. And equally, you can make Wheatstone do the Wheatstone hardware do something based on what PlayoutONE's doing as well.
Yeah.
Which is important too. So like it might be something as simple as muting or unmuting one of the channels that's got maybe a news feed coming through on it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, really useful. So what we've got here is how we set this up. It's 3 bits of information you need. You need the blade IP address. So that's going to be the local IP address on your network. We've put ours in here. The blade port, which is the port number of the blade that will be controlling, and the blade ID. You'll be able to get all this information from the front panel of your blade. Now, it's worth noting here, if you've got 5 blades in your system, we only talk to one of them, and then that one talks to all the others. So you don't have to have 5 connections to all 5 different blades. You just talk to one, and then it does all the hard work for you, which is even, well, it makes our life a lot simpler, and yours as well, because it's one thing to manage. Now, what we're going to do in our first test is we're going to go into the matrix here. And we've already programmed a command, and I'll just double click on this so we can go through the different bits. So the first bit is a description. So we've called this SLIO, which is Wheatstone's software logic input and output device. And it's SLIO1. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to trigger the legal ID. And what we've basically done is we've said, okay, the Wheatstone command is this, SLIO LVL1 on. I don't understand what that means, but we've got a nice little builder that builds it for you, and we've got documentation on our website as well, help.playout1.com, to help you build those. And then we're going to map that command that comes in to a playout1 command. So we've literally mapped it to our play legal ID command here. And what that's going to do when we press the magic button is it's going to trigger the legal ID in the network player over here in playout1. So if I show you that bit, go into the command manager here. There it is, play legal ID. It's going to do what we call net play and then the UID of the cart we're going to play. If you've not seen the network player before, it's I guess it's like an auxiliary player, isn't it, Chris, that you can map away from the main playlist or the main log or the quick keys, and it's useful for a lot of stations who take satellite programming or need to trigger things like this.
Absolutely, yeah, and it could go down its own audio feed as well, so it doesn't necessarily have to go out on one of the same feeds as one of the 4 players that you've got.
Yeah. So for our demo, Chris is going to go round the back.
Oh, is it my go now? Stand up.
Yes. Yep, you go. So Chris is going over to the blade, and he's going to what we call short a GPIO connection. That's going to travel all the way through the blade system, going to talk to data controller, and then it's going to fire over on the network player the legal ID. So Chris, I'm gonna leave the channel open and leave it to you. Tell us when you press it, and then we can watch it on the screen.
Okay, you ready?
Ready?
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, there it is. So what you can see on the data controller is command received from Wheatstone, SLIO1, trigger the legal ID. It then took that and then went, oh, need to send this to playout1. So it did, sent it, and there you see it going in the network player. So that could be a satellite receiver. You could be taking a satellite show. The satellite goes, right, time for everyone to play their legal ID. Press the button, and then that would then make its way all the way through, and it would trigger on your playout1 system. So that's how that bit works. Let's now go and do something else, shall we, Chris? Let's tell playout1 to control Wheatstone. So let's have a look here what we've got. We've set some commands up already. We've got these ones here. So we're going to do the UMix, also known as the utility mixer.
Yes.
We're going to control fader 1, and also we're going to turn it on and off. So what is the utility mixer, Chris, for a start? I can see it on your screen there.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is like a graphical representation of the hardware that you would have. It's like a surface, a Wheatstone surface with all the faders and things on there. So,
okay, fine.
Yeah, it's worth checking out on the website and having a look so you can see what's what. But this is a graphical representation of it. And this is the blade that we've got. This is the utility mixer on this particular blade. And you've got 2 utility mixers within the blade. So we can see this is mixer 1 that's lit up. And if we click on there, that toggles to utility mixer 2, which is obviously a different side to the mixer. So there you go. So that's an demo. For this demo, we're going to be using mixer 1.
So we've got all these sources on the Wheatstone network, but we obviously need to combine them into a mixer so that that one single output goes to the transmitter. So this is where you assign all the different bits and pieces.
That's right, yeah.
I take it. So yeah, fader 1 on utility mixer is the PC. So let's do that, shall we? So what we've done is we've configured the command in playout1. So let's just have a look at that. There it is. So utility mixer fader 1 on. So it's this little command here. And there's the utility mixer fader 1 off. Beautiful. Again, don't know what they mean, but you can get all the details at help.playout1.com to help build your commands. That's absolutely fine. Then what we've done is we've just quickly mapped these to a quick key. So if we edit this quick key, you can see fader 1 on is mapped to the UMix fader 1 on command. And the fader 1, that says on. We should change that probably. Makes sense. Fader 1 off is mapped to the fader 1 off command. Well, it is now. There we go.
Now, I should also point out here, actually, that you're in Canada and I'm in the northwest of England. So we're miles apart.
Yeah.
And that's an understatement. So
Yes,
what you've got to remember here is that what Dave's doing is remote to where I am.
Yeah.
And this goes back to what I was saying earlier on about, your 5 studios, but they could be anywhere in the world.
So let's do this now. So I'm going to press the on button and let's see if it turns it on. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Never readier.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go!
Whoa!
Yes!
Look at that. That's getting me excited.
So that's us from PlayoutONE turning on a news fader, for example, and then the news is off, so let's turn it off. Independent Radio News, I'm Dave Bradley Jones. It's 3 minutes past 10. And it's off.
Instant.
So you can see quite quickly how PlayoutONE can control things, which is studios and stations have this trouble all the time. How do they control certain bits? If you in the old days you had to have like what they call it, a GPIO box or a card to turn it on and off. There was lots of cables hanging around. I remember walking into a Rex room and it was a bit untidy. This is so clean.
I went into a Rex room once and there was cables just hanging out the ceiling. And one of them was stretched across from the wall to the server. And if you weren't careful, you'd garrot yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
But this eliminates all of that. So you can go in and not get electrocuted. It's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, so we've done turning on control of faders and stuff. The last thing is actually some stations may need to trigger some external hardware. So PlayoutONE may need to talk to a satellite receiver or a switcher to switch feeds around and do clever bits and pieces. That can be done via the Wheatstone GPIOs. So we have some GPIO buttons here that we're going to press. And again, if we go into the command manager, again, we've looked at help.playoutone.com to build these commands. We can see GPIO2 off, GPIO2 on. So, Chris, going to need you to go and stand in front of that box and flick on your remote camera.
Okay, just bear with me. Here we go.
Your camera's on now. I can see it. Beautiful. There's the box. So we're looking for one of these lights to light up, are we? So I'm going to press the button in 3, 2, 1.
Wow!
It's bright. Yeah. And then we want to turn that off because we're done with that satellite or that switching device. Goodbye. 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Yes. You can come back now, Chris. You can turn the camera off. Thank you.
Can I get back to drinking?
Yes, you can. Friday night in the UK, Friday afternoon here in Canada. So I think we've proved there that, PlayoutONE integrated into the Wheatstone and WheatNet is truly going to save a lot of people a lot of time. Now, obviously, it requires a bit of investment. This isn't something you can go download or buy off the shelf. It's a proper piece of broadcasting gear. But there's a lot of stations that have been asking us, when are you going to integrate with Wheatstone? When can we do it? When can we do it? The good news is it's available now.
Yes, it is. And if you've got any questions, then feel free to email support@playoutone.com. And don't forget, you can keep up to date with all these videos as well, because we're starting to do more and more of them. So click the little bell, get notified on YouTube when the videos appear. And if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, or maybe you're watching this on Facebook, pop over to youtube.com/playoutone. You can do it there.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will see you again soon on another PlayoutONE video. Take care.